Are you following Super Rugby Pacific? Stick around, I'll share my insights on round 12, some absolute humdingers of games that we've seen this weekend. Hey everyone, it's Coach H here. You've found Inspired by Union, a channel where I discuss Southern Hemisphere rugby. Let's dive right in. So week 12 of Super Rugby Pacific in the bag. Two absolutely quality games from Saturday in New Zealand. The Tars, they try and come back against the Brumbies, but the Brumbies hold on. Hurricanes versus the Blues. Well, this game lived up to the hype, and I'm a fan of afternoon rugby that is conducive to quality running football. Well, these teams flexed big time, really. They both enjoyed time on the ball and were able to inflict damage against the opposition defense. A quick start by the Blues was immediately responded to by the Hurricanes, and this set the tone for the rest of this game, really. The first half was an open affair, with the Blues happy for their forwards to punch holes in close or work out in the wider channels. The Canes brought a power game and deception to their attack as they added variety to their game shapes. Bailyn Sullivan, a late replacement, made a key opening break off a nice inside ball coming in from the open side of a ruck. Hoskins Satutu stood out for the Blues forwards and got one over the young Braden Uyose, whilst Ben Lamb was quality in his ball into contact carrying at 13 for the Blues. Cameron's tactical kicking at 10 for the Hurricanes was quality, whilst Barrett also chipped in off the boot. This game came down to the wire, and Sam Knox's turnover and kick into touch signalled the end to an absolute quality 80 minutes. The Blues now hold the outright favourites tag after this win, 31-27. Moana Pacifica versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs' pre-game plan was simple: win, bonus point, put yourself in a position to launch for a top 2 spot. The poor old Moana were blown away by a Chiefs side that looked like they were going through the motions, really. The Chiefs ABs stood up for their side. They were all solid throughout. The Chiefs feasted on Moana after they had 2 players put into the bin, and that was game over, really. The Chiefs now have an eye fixed on a top 2 spot after their win by 43-7. Reds versus the Rebels. The Rebels turned up with a positive mindset and traded blows with the hosts from the get-go. Tupou was solid at 3, and national selectors will be pleased with his body of work over the past month. The visitors dominated periods of this game, and the home side looked shocked at times as they struggled to handle the tempo. At half-time, whatever Coach Kiss said worked a treat as the home side kicked into gear. New cult figure, the Junkyard Dog, scored his 6th try in 3 games, and Josh Fluke had the last laugh after spending parts of the game getting his ribs tickled by the Rebels' defence. The Reds took this tight encounter by 26-22. The Rebels, they really deserved their bonus point. Highlanders versus the Crusaders. In the Battle of the South, fans retreated to 2 teams that rolled up their sleeves and really emptied the tank in this one. The Landers were composed, and skipper De Groot took points on offer as they looked to build scoreboard pressure. Cody Taylor was superb on his return from a non-playing sabbatical and put in close to 70 minutes on his shift. Johnny McNichol and Servu Reese were the best for the Crusaders in this one, whilst Dunshay proved a handful against his former side at line-out time. Argentinian international Bogdado was a threat with ball in hand throughout, whilst Tavatava Nawai was an absolute menace and snuffed out a number of Crusaders raids at the breakdown. The Landers have put their northern neighbours' season on life support courtesy of a 32-29 win. Waratahs versus the Brumbies. The Brumbies have had the wood over the Sydney Siders for a while now. The Tars' multiple handling errors allowed the Brumbies to have pressure relieved at key times in this game. The Brumbies didn't really need a second invite, and Len Ikitau continues his run of good form of late and chipped in with a try that was important in the scheme of things to come. The Tars do have heart and team spirit. They launched a comeback, but ultimately it was too little, too late. Brumbies solidify themselves into third spot, courtesy of a 29-21 win. Force versus the Indroa. The Indroa had an opportunity to put breathing space between them and the Force on the ladder. However, they dropped this game, and the Force have given themselves a realistic task of surpassing the Fijians with 3 rounds to go. Ben Donaldson had his best game in Force colours, and once again, his quality of kicking off the tee was first class. The Indroa, well, they were in this game with up to 30 minutes to go. Then it went pear-shaped. Heads dropped when the going got tough, and this side needs to mature and get a win on the road. Their saving grace is they do have 2 home games to go in the remainder of the season. They may hold on to their final spot. Force in a blowout by 48-10. If you're finding these insights helpful, consider smashing that subscribe button, hitting the bell for more insights every week. We were blessed with some quality games over the weekend. I was absolutely impressed with the way the Hurricanes and the Blues went about their business. I have a sneaky feeling that the Hurricanes wouldn't fear going to Eden Park did they face the Blues in a final. I'm Coach H, and you've been watching Inspired by Union.